You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got two special guests in the building with us this morning.
Our guys, Grouchy Greg and Chuck Creekmur.
And Chuck from allhiphop.com. Good morning, guys.
What's up?
Yeah,
Thank y'all for having us.
Why is my name so hard to say? I don't
know. I've never said your last name ever in my life. Now that I think about it, I just say Chuck.
I just say
Chuck.
Greg's
Greg got a last name?
Exactly.
Grouchy's his first
Grouchy,
name.
and my last name is Greg. My first name is Grandmaster. My middle name is Grouchy. My middle name is Greg.
Now, what happened to allhiphop.com?
Wait, hold on. These are the founders of allhiphop.com.
I said that.
I didn't realize all hip hop has been around 20 years. I'm old.
Almost.
So what you mean? What happened?
What? You know what? You guys were one of the.
Why he coming out the box?
No, I'm explaining.
Here goes Envy.
You guys were one of the first with everything online, whether it was supporting mixtapes, whether it was news stories, whether it was whatever it was, and then it was like people followed your template and then made a better site than all hip hop. Like
They didn't make a better.
Yes, they did.
Everybody can. Well, first of all,
the site
hold
never
up. See,
revolutionized.
Envy, you trying to start some controversy. See,
Did y'all write a bad
I thought it
article?
was going to be Charlamagne. Envy comes with the
It's the
liver
Did y'all write
shot.
a bad article about Envy?
No. I love all hip hop. That was the first site I always went to, but it seems like the site never
look,
changed.
I still go to all hip hop.
I mean,
First
look,
of all, the originator, right,
Absolutely.
is always going to get bitten, copied, stolen, swiped, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's always somebody that's going to exploit a little segment of the culture and then take it to another level, but not always a positive, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's be real. NWA, okay, we all took a little piece of them, but guess what? They took one slice of NWA and rolled with it and left the political stuff and left the, all the intelligence to the side, and then it turned into something all the way different.
That's true.
I mean, my thing is I don't really get defensive with that because, it's just an opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I respect your opinion, and I look at it like I take that as valuable information and feedback.
You can't respect that opinion.
I can't respect that. I
When
respect
you
it.
tell somebody
I respect
what
everybody
happened,
that has
and
an
we sitting
opinion.
here saying we've been here for pushing 20
We've been for
something
20 years.
I've
There's
seen
some people that look at us like we haven't evolved. I mean, it's just an
No,
opinion.
at first, when
we
the sites were
have
changing,
evolved,
that
though.
site
That's the
template
thing
was the
about
same
it.
for a
So
while.
what would you have liked to see all hip hop evolve into, you think?
No, not even involved. I think when it first started, the site template was the same for a long time. Nothing ever changed. And then when they finally changed it, it wasn't good at first. It took them a long time. It was hard to get around the site because at the time, you got to understand, all hip hop was releasing exclusives like DJs. So it was
But we got 20 years. What year are you talking about? I mean,
you're right.
You know what I mean? You might be talking
about
about 2005,
Yeah, I mean,
2006.
like right now,
early
all
on.
hip hop kind of gives you the information. Like if if I follow hip hop on Twitter, which I do, they'll tweet me the story. When I click the link, I go right to the story.
Right.
As opposed to having to go on all hip hop, go to the rumor section or whatever. Like I haven't seen a slippage in all hip hop.
I mean, I don't think we have either. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
All right, well, the game is crowded now.
Where are you from,
Yeah.
Queens?
When we
I'm
first
from
started,
Queens.
it was nothing else out
That's what
there.
this about?
No.
What's that?
It was all
said-
hip hop and SOHH.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
And then it got crowded. Some people just did rumors and gossip. Some people just did the salacious, you know what I mean? And we did a little bit of everything.
Starting around
People
2000.
wanted the garbage.
That is very true. There is so much more out there now since all hip hop
That's-
first
And then
started.
social media, that's
That's
a
what
whole
it
other.
is.
That's a whole other part of
You
it.
add on Instagram and the fact that artists can go directly to their consumers. And
But
then
that
you
also
add on
makes
the
it fun
fact,
for you guys to have a whole thing where people are responding and
Yeah, absolutely. But I guess my point is just that, so many people came into the space. I mean, there was a point in time where TMZ wasn't covering any hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm
That's true.
saying? And then all of a sudden, they damn near a hip hop site.
So what makes all hip hop distinct from other sites right now in 2017?
News, we're still the fastest with news. You know what I'm saying? We have one of the biggest online communities on the internet. You know what I'm saying? 600,000 members. That are on it, popping. We're still
And we're
here
a
after
business,
20
like
years.
a lot of other. I mean, come on, really seriously, name a site that's really relevant. Like name a site that even matters. There's only a couple.
I think
hip-hop
also
And we
the
specify
people
hip-hop.
behind it too. you guys as the founders, the people that really have been very involved in hip hop, we know who you both are.
They embodied in hip hop, absolutely. They're out and about, and I'm not saying it as a.
Don't try to get on their good side now.
No, the reason I'm saying, because I'll be honest, if it wasn't for all hip hop, I probably wouldn't have a job that I have here now, because they were the ones. When I talk about all the people that used to post our interviews, they were the ones posting my interviews.
Oh, I'm
first.
using that. I'm using that forever now. I'm the one who put DJ Envy on.
When I was doing radio
Honestly,
in
they
Columbia, South Carolina,
and not charging me.
all hip hop was posting my stuff. And that's what got me like getting looked at on a national level.
That's what's up.
Yeah, I remember coming down, hanging out with you down there in South Carolina. That one, what was that club we was at?
I forget. Probably the Main Event. I don't remember.
It was
but I remember y'all posted a
club.
Bun B interview I did where Bun B said Pimp C was coming home.
Right.
Y'all posted the Buffy the Body interview. And then like some rumors that weren't true, but it still worked for me. It still worked for me.
Yo, when you came in the game, yo, I don't know if you remember, I used to call myself Jigsaw the God.
I remember.
Jigsaw, yeah.
Yeah, and I used to rock that. Then
he
Charlamagne came through. I was like, man,
forget it.
I'll be Jigsaw the One. It don't sound the same, but
Whatever happened to LC? First of all, who was LC? Which one of y'all was LC?
Wasn't
what?
me.
Why I gotta be one of us?
So there's another guy named LC?
It's just
a robot and a skeleton.
It's yeah, man. We can't. We still trying to figure out how to get LC back in the mix. It's a whole nother generation now. And,
LC was relentless, boy.
Yeah, man. That's the other thing. Social media made it hard to do exclusive rumors and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody tells their business now.
Mm-hmm.
But it also kind of helps because then you can post that stuff too.
Yeah, we do. All
You just
day.
won't have it exclusively. That's all.
Right, exactly. But LC's chilling, and man, we're trying to get him back, but we'll see.
And also, Chuck, tell Envy, it's not too many, hip hop, whatever, I don't know what's the title, hip hop founders of websites that are doing TED Talks.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, that's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, man.
Big dog.
Yeah, I did my TED Talk this weekend, Dell State University, the first time at a historically black school, university, I should say, not school. But yeah, I did why planning is overrated. That was my topic. Because, TED Talks is a specific topic.
Right.
So that was my topic. And I talked a little bit about the story of me coming to New York and nothing really working out, but it worked out.
Because you guys are from Delaware, right?
Originally, yeah. But Greg still.
Yeah, he still lives in Delaware.
Yeah.
That's why we don't see him too often.
I'm up here
So
though.
he pop up.
I just changed what I do. Y'all used to see me a lot in the nightlife out here. And after a while, especially after I had my son, I was like, when I come to Manhattan, instead of just partying all night, I come out in and out during the day. And then I'm only an hour and a half from D.C., so I be working D.C., Baltimore, Philly, New York. It's a sweet place to live. You know what I'm saying?
Now, the first thing Grouchy Greg said to me when he came in was, I just want to apologize. He thought I was going to be mad at him for a story that they did about me on the site.
What was the
What's
story?
that?
Easy, like getting the train run on her by 5 dudes at a time.
Yeah.
That was the story.
Damn.
Now,
Whoa! I took it down. You know what I'm
what
saying?
really happened was
What?
Angela, you
did
got
it-
a train ran over?
I had did an interview on This Is 50 with Heineken,
Oh,
and he
I
was
remember
playing
that.
a game, and he was like, you have to pick
I remember.
from whatever to run a train on you if you had to choose this crew, or this crew. So I was like, well, I forget who it was, but I remember I said, well, Drake has no friends and no new friends, so if I had to choose by process of elimination, it was just playing a game, and I had to answer, but that turned into
That was the
the
headline.
That was the headline.
But what I say to you, I forgot all about it.
Yeah.
I was like,
You remember that story was out? Everybody was making that was the headline everywhere.
yeah, it was
It
a
was
big
going
deal.
around.
And I was like, clearly
By
no
Drake
one
and his
listened to
crew?
the interview because it was like a game, like a F, Marry, Kill, but it was like that. And I was like trying to be a good sport and play the game. It wasn't serious. But I said to him, listen, and what we do, people always are going to run stories about you. If you know it's not true, then there's nothing to really be. I wasn't mad ever. I was,
You always pop up. I'll touch base or like, yo, I'm just gonna let you know something's about to go on there. Just
Right.
because you're always in the rumors. And
I am.
Damn, yeah.
There was a
Damn,
rumor that I, when we did Drink Champs, remember this? Somebody was trying to send out a rumor saying that me and Taxstone went in the bathroom and had sex in the middle
I
of
remember
it.
that one.
I was like, come on.
Those are very specific rumors.
Very
Yeah, it's
specific.
ridiculous.
But people really had to watch
My
that
type of
episode
girl.
because Angela Yee actually snuck out because she had another event. So she said, I got to go to the bathroom.
And then I was
you bounced.
tweeting half an hour later because I told him from the beginning, I was like, listen, I got to leave at this certain time because I had to do something for McDonald's. So I was like, I got to get out of here. So I'm just letting you guys know if I slide out. So I said I had to go to the bathroom and I left. And then next thing you know, somebody was. But what's good is having relationships with people like you guys, because you can hit me up and check
Definitely.
you know, if something is factual. So people did send me that story, like someone's trying to slander your name and say this about you. And so.
And that's, part of how we've maintained, one of the things over the past 20 years is, making sure that, all of our long-term relationships and, even the new ones we develop stay good. You know what I'm saying?
Did you guys, I had a sex slave at one point in my basement
Word.
as well. A lot of
I didn't
things.
see that
A
one.
lot of
that one
stories.
sounds
I
good.
know.
Oh, that was on the site?
Well, no, that was on Baller Alert.
Oh,
It
okay,
was one of
okay,
those,
shout out to them.
Yeah.
You need to slow
got a
down.
lot going on.
Why you got all these rumors? I mean, usually they're rooted in some kind of truth somewhere along the
Yeah.
way, ain't they?
Well, my basement, I just got it redone, so it's possible.
Now, I saw you interviewing Denzel too, Chuck.
Yeah, that was a big moment, man. I mean, Denzel's the master right there. So that was a big look for me. I only talked to him for a split second, really, because it was a crazy red carpet for Fences. And I just kind of like grabbed
Get in
him.
there.
Yeah, I got in there.
What made you ask that particular question, though? It was you asked him how this film speaks to African American men, I believe it was.
Yeah, that was just the question that was on my heart, man. I knew I only had one shot. Well, no, I take that back. I thought I was gonna have more time, but that was the one question that I felt needed to be asked, and it was the one that weighed heavily on my heart. And the other thing is that a couple years ago, I wrote an open letter to Denzel, actually, because he said some comments in GQ magazine that was like, it was like airing dirty laundry a little bit, and I was like, man, we needed to hear that, but we didn't really need to hear that in GQ. Like, we needed that to be said directly to us. So I wrote Denzel an open letter, and so I think that was an extension of the open letter, that question. And it was a good look, man.
Did he know the open letter came
Crazy
from you?
viral.
Did he know the open letter came from you? Did he see the open letter?
Nah, I meant to. I wanted to hand deliver it to him, but I never saw him until that day, and by then I kind of forgot about it.
So you still do red carpets yourself?
Nah, no. This is Denzel.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
I did that one.
You gotta do some things for yourself. You gotta, we're still in the trenches a little bit, but that was a special one. I wasn't gonna just give anybody that one.
Right.
Now in April, y'all gonna release unreleased interviews on SoundCloud?
Yeah, we got a bunch of, we've got 20 years worth of archive content, video, audio, and, we've been recording our interviews, since 2000.
That should be exciting. So
we've got some crazy
like
stuff.
who?
I mean, we've got
JDMX,
The Source, when they was going through their
when
lawsuit.
Zeno,
when
remember that?
Benzino was going to ride into the office on a white horse. We got that. I mean, that's what he said.
Right.
He was going to do. So we got that. Jimmy Henchman,
Wow. I've been watching those Jimmy Henchman documentaries too that Michael K. Williams has been doing.
Yeah. I mean, Greg was in the courtroom when that was all going down, so he.
That was crazy.
Firsthand.
They tried to subpoena me right there.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you
Because of the
think
interview?
happened?
Because of a lot of stuff, but I was going there every day, to cover it, and there wasn't too many people from the hip hop community. And I know Jimmy very well. We still contact each other. I mean, we still communicate. Probably once or twice a month. And just about his case and stuff though. Ain't like we're best friends.
Right.
But I have been covering everything, or we have been covering everything about, his case, the drug case, the murder, this, that. So I have also known his lawyer. His lawyer, he had the same lawyer that represented John Gotti, Murder, Inc. during their whole trial. So, I'm pretty cool with his lawyer. And, man, I was just ready to go to the bathroom one day, and he was like, yo, man, he was like, I think I want to subpoena you because, you might have some information that's valuable while Jimmy was on the run. And I was just like, man, I don't know about that, And it just so happened that one of our former associates, Ken Montgomery, who's also a lawyer who represents Bobby Schmurder.
Passed away.
He was
Ken's alive.
Ken's alive.
I was like, whoa, don't kill our Ken.
He repping tax on
He
the
repping
Opium
tax
guy.
on him. Yeah, he repping tax. But he happened to just be in the court watching, and I was like, "Yo, Ken, I need to talk to you. These motherfuckers trying to subpoena me and get me up on the stand. I'm not
You're
trying
like,
to
no.
hear that. I don't have anything to do with this." And it just went away. Ken started right in court. He grabbed Jimmy's lawyer and was like, "Nah, that's not gonna happen." But it was crazy, man, because when Jimmy was on the run, there was like I think a 2-week period where they was looking for him,
Right.
And that's the information that they was kind of after, because we was in communication during that time period.
Oh, so they knew you were in communication. And
Y'all have had so many shifts in the culture since y'all been doing all hip hop. Like how has it been just adapting to every shift, I guess?
Yo, it hasn't been easy. I mean, we've had our hard times. I mean, it's been documented, and we had a couple rough periods. You know what I mean? And I don't know, maybe we'll put that in a book somewhere, but for real, people got to remember, we're not a blog. Like, we're an actual company, a business, and when you have those type of responsibilities, you have to play by certain types of rules, and you have certain types of overhead, and so, we've had to adapt. I think that the good thing is that we've always looked at ourselves like a business, even when we had no money, and most people don't elevate past their mom's basement or whatever, wherever they are.
How come y'all never sold it coming out? I heard you got offers.
Man, that's a good question, man. You know what? We talked about this just at the TED Talk, and I think it's really, we need that number to be right, and that's the ultimate thing,
So you would sell it if it was the right number?
Anything is
I think
possible.
it's a combination of things for anybody out there that's listening. We've had offers from everybody that you can think of, and sometimes it comes down to understanding that, we're a 20-year-old brand, and we don't just want to exit and see somebody buy it, sell it. We're aware that this also has a cultural value, for, the next 20 years, because from 1998 until, 2007, there wasn't really anybody chronicling hip-hop culture in the same manner that we were. So we actually own a huge swath of the history of hip-hop culture every day. So turning that over, in addition to getting money for it, we want the person to understand what this means moving down the line.
Let's go back a little bit. I always wanted to know, when the website thing were popping off so crazy, what made y'all jump out and purchase allhiphop.com? Like, those are names that people die for,
But you guys did it so early on.
So early. Like, what gave y'all the insight to get it so early?
I mean, I was down in Delaware, and, I was running a record label at the time.
Not the biggest hip-hop hub either.
Not the biggest hip-hop hub. But my mentality was, well, I've got Philadelphia right here, which has a nationwide distributor. I got New York 2 hours away, which I had a distributor lined up for the West Coast. I had San Francisco distributors. So I was doing my thing, distributing my records outside of Delaware. The problem was, I had been on the internet already since 93. So by 96, I had already had a website for my record label. I eventually registered All Hip Hop because I thought that the label would be a competitor to Raucous Records and that kind of hip hop movement as a record label. So we was selling, there's early records out with the allhiphop.com name on them, 12-inch CDs and things that are around on eBay. And then, Chuck was in New York writing, doing his thing. And, I had this allhiphop.com domain name. He had one. He had all these A-list interviews that I was always bugging him for. And he was like, yo, just put this thing together.
Wow.
So that was it. But at that time, I registered a bunch of domain names. Most of them I still have. Some of them I don't.
Which ones?
Some of them I was squatting on. I mean, I've owned EMIpublishing.com for 20 years.
Jesus Christ,
Yeah,
Cameron.
They sold it. I thought that, I never promoted or did anything with it because I didn't want to be accused of squatting. But I thought at some point they would give up EMI-pub. But, I lost my window for that because they ended up getting sold to, who was it? Who bought them? Sony or something?
I think Sony bought them.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I've got, probably 80 domain names.
Damn.
Yeah.
And y'all never
That's a
catered
lot
to
of money.
y'all never catered to one particular region either.
Yeah,
That's one reason I think y'all
we
been
got
around so long.
accused of leaning towards New York heavy, but that's because we were sitting here. But we had a huge presence in the South. You can see, that's the good thing about the internet. You can see where people are coming from, and we oftentimes would, if we see that Houston loves us, we would definitely talk to all the artists there because that's what was happening at certain points.
Now you see all these shows and everything, like the Get Down, and you see the breaks. What about doing like an all hip hop? Since you guys both write, why not do something about all hip hop based on their creation?
We actually early talks for that. Like
Right.
not amongst ourselves and people that write for TV. But definitely, man. I mean,
It makes sense just because you guys can write it yourselves, and I haven't seen anything that has to do with starting.
yeah.
I was like, I saw the Big Payback, which is what's the one
Epic.
based off the Big Payback? The Breaks
That's-
or whatever.
Yeah, that's the
Breaks.
breaks.
Is based off
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video.
yeah.
And isn't that the one I read that book and I'm like, hey man, what happened to the internet?
Man, listen,
Right.
we're not even
It's a
gonna talk
gap
too
in
much about
that
it. But
right now.
listen, nobody really knows the story behind all hip hop, all the drama, all the crazy stuff. It's a lot. And I mean, especially in that first, our crew used to be called the Gun Show. The Gun Show is everybody that was working full time for all hip hop. And it was madness. And I mean, for real, it was just
What was
crazy.
that pay like over there?
It was hey, look, it was good.
There was a point when we was doing salaries and all that.
Look, it was expensive. It was,
The internet changed though, And
Yeah. So the salaries were, they were good. They weren't like crazy great,
Right.
but for the internet, they were really good.
How are these artists going to feel when these old interviews come out? Is there anything controversial in them that you feel like they might have issues with, or you have to run it past
I mean, it's
anyone?
the thing. We ain't running past nothing by nobody. I mean, the
Okay.
reality. No, I mean, I don't mean. Why would we do that
No,
though? It's an
man.
interview.
No.
No. What I'm saying, it's an interview that we own.
Right.
You said it. It's on tape. What's the problem?
So is there going to...
mean,
It's archived.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
archive interviews. It's nothing that we haven't
Well,
printed.
that could squash a lot
Nah,
of
there's
relationships.
a couple things that it's a couple.
Did you watch
Yeah,
Cameron and Jim
Yeah.
Jones?
Yeah, we got a couple rappers crying, but we didn't.
You
but we
do?
didn't put those out though. We look out. Like, this is the thing that I get mad about, right? Is because, sometimes with artists, whenever you catch them at a moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cry, maybe you nod off in a
Nod
drug
off.
haze.
Where you say you don't
You
know
know what I
nothing
mean?
about Biggie and Tupac.
But that's when you're supposed to teach, though.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, we do it for man, we never try to embarrass anybody, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
another thing that changed, We would look out for artists. So sometimes I get tight when it's hard to get at somebody.
And you're
I'm
like,
yo,
dude, I
dog.
put out this interview with you crying.
Right.
What's wrong with crying in hip hop anyway?
It's
Nothing.
nothing wrong now.
All
It's
right.
cool. It's all right
Envy
now.
knows. Envy cries.
Nothing's wrong with
Nothing's
crying.
wrong with crying now. Back in the
Some
day,
people
though,
cry, some
Yeah.
people don't, I guess.
If you don't cry, you probably gonna kill somebody one day or something.
I mean-
'Cause you gotta let that out. Yo, it's hard times right now.
I guess I'm at a point where, I just speaking real honest, I just don't have anything to cry about. I mean, I could,
All cried out.
I mean, I'm not even gonna cry. I mean, I'm just like nothing is that bad.
Lisa,
I know.
He tried to bond with you.
All
That was a
alone.
beige
That's
bonding
sad.
moment.
Yeah.
He tried to
It's
get a
this
beige
yellow-
bonding moment going. You know when
This
we all
yellow
cried
guy.
out.
It's not.
Not that. All right, move on.
I cried all morning.
These yellow guys, though, man. These yellow guys. It's yellow racism.
I remember when Jay-Z said,
yellow on yellow racism.
when Jay-Z said, I can't cry, the song cried. And then one of those rappers was like, yo, you too hard to cry? Yo, you
I know
too
who that
hard-
was. It said that wasn't
It
a
was,
rapper. It was
who
a
was
DR
it?
period.
DRP, no,
The producer.
It wasn't. It was. I thought it. Okay, yeah. Anyway, DR period, the MOP producer. He said, "What? You too hard to cry now?" It's like, yo.
So what's the next step to enhancing the all hip hop site and the brand of all hip hop?
20 years later.
Woo, it's a
No,
lot
man,
going
a lot,
on. I'll let you take that.
Well, the biggest and most critical step is, we took control of our advertising. So we're doing that in house again after probably about 5 or 6 years of bouncing around all these different networks, from Vibe to BET to Complex. So we've taken the reins of that. We're evolving our technology, Envy.
Okay.
So in the next, month and a half, 2 months, the site's gonna look a little different,
Okay.
perform
Oh, there you go,
a lot
Envy.
better.
Look a little easier for people to navigate and
No,
know.
Y'all call me simple-minded over
so they
here?
don't have to think.
Nah, but just the stuff that we really have to do in order to move forward. How can we work better? How can we work faster? How can we work smarter? I mean, the game hasn't changed since we got in it. It's producing content, and how can you produce the best, most exclusive stuff fast?
What was your
You know?
biggest story ever?
Tupac.
The guy that admitted to
Dexter
shooting
Isaac.
Tupac. Yeah.
Dexter
Go ahead,
Isaac.
yeah.
That's all part of the Jimmy Henchman stuff, So, through one of hip hop's most hated guys, I guess, Chuck Phillips. I had a good relationship with Chuck, working relationship with him, even though he kind of got ruined in the journalism world. You know, Pulitzer Prize journalist. Then he ran the L.A. Times story.
Right.
They had to retract it. Jimmy sued him, whole 9 yards, and he just, you know, he disappeared off the face of the earth. But before that, you know, he had connected me with a lot of the people involved in the Tupac story that he was working on, because he knew that he had no credibility in the community to release any of it. So, you know, I started getting in contact with Dexter, who, you know, if you know enough about the backstory, you know, before he even admitted it, it had been word, you know, the word had been around that he was one of the guys that had robbed and shot Tupac at the Quad Studio. So, you know, he started calling me from jail, talking, you know, all that stuff. And finally he said, yo, I want to go on record. I want to apologize to Big's mom, Pac's mom, for, you know, my role in starting all this. But see, you got to understand that, you know, these are guys that are doing life in prison for murder. You know, they get attention afterwards. He wrote or, you know, wanted to write a book. So sometimes you got to be really careful with this information. You know? I mean, this dude is somebody who killed somebody on their knees praying, begging for his life. And he pulled out his gun and said, for a second mortgage
that
on
was
a house.
Scary time.
Yeah, Greg needs to be subpoenaed.
Nah, this is all public stuff.
He knows a lot of stuff.
This is public knowledge. But yeah, it gets that deep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was a scary period too, man, because it was a lot of street stuff going on, like JMJ, Jam Master J, Jimmy
50 and them.
Henchman. It was crazy. And, you know, I was doing a lot of the interviews around that time. You know, like the Smoking Gun or whoever was all trying to interview us. And, you know, you talking about Jimmy Henchman. You
You're
gotta
like,
go.
I just want to lay low.
I didn't do any. When the Tupac story broke, you know, everybody called me from CNN to, and I was just like, I'm not going on air and talk about any of this. You know, I recognize it's an opportunity for promotion for us, but you know, you only have to say one or two wrong things
That's it.
for it to either become truth or for you to mess up, you know. And I just wasn't interested in talking to the press about something like that at that point. I figured, you know what, I'll save it for our book, our movie, and, you know, it's our content.
Absolutely.
I was definitely interested. I learned from Ice Cube, turn no press down.
Well, we appreciate you guys for joining us.
Thank you.
Shout out to
It's an
Greg,
honor.
Chuck Creekmur,
It's an honor.
allhiphop.com.
Can I just shout out my boy Kawani over there, who helped, you know, put this whole thing together, who works
shout
with
out
us
to
marketing
Kawani.
and promotion.
Oh, and by the way, I also just recently got interviewed by All Hip Hop. So
Oh, who did it?
Antonice.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, of course.
Women in Power, Women in
Oh,
Power from
That's
March.
right. Yeah, from March, we're doing female
Women's-
bosses and women in power for the whole month. Yeah. So
We got to interview
It's our
Envy.
month
No,
in
I'm
March.
just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I had to get back at you at that, man. I'm sorry.
I appreciate what y'all
Can we
done
put
for me
Envy in the
on
women's?
Yo,
Yeah,
Envy, can I hold something like Carl?
I see
Whatever you
you.
want. Today's your birthday, so whatever you want. Happy
I
birthday.
bet.
Today's
I see
Chuck's
you,
birthday.
Floss.
Today's Chuck's birthday?
Today's Chuck's
Oh, happy
birthday.
born day, my brother.
Wow.
Bottle something for me.
This how you got to spend your
can find
birthday? That
something.
sucks.
Oh, wow. This is epic.
great.
This is an epic
Yo,
way
I
to
did a
spend your
TED
birthday.
Talk, Breakfast
that's
Club.
awesome.
I'm
Now,
good.
you promoting the brand, you lit. You good.
But
Yeah,
thank
you
y'all
have
for putting me in for Women's History Month.
Yeah,
No
thank
doubt.
y'all for
We
everything you've
gotta
done
salute.
for our
gotta salute
careers,
our women.
Absolutely.
individually and collectively.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
We appreciate it.
All right. It's the Breakfast Club. It's allhiphop.com.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in